Hey, what's going on, family? What's going on? Tremaine, Mr. Hard Pivot. I am back in the house today, guys. Um, I was actually in the middle of taking care of some business, and it looks like it may take a little bit longer than I thought. So, wanted to jump on with a quick mindset moment. Wanted to kind of wait till I got home to get on, but it's on my mind. I want to get it off my mind right now. Um, was going to put up a image of this, like in my timeline and all that stuff on social media. Because a lot of people are visual, I get it. But I think it's better to hear it. Let's do some audio today. Let's let it sink into your brain. We're going to talk about the Six Figure Playbook, right? A lot of people love sports. Let me take this seatbelt off. I'm not driving right now. I know a lot of people love sports. I know if you're anything like me, you grew up loving sports. I played sports a lot, especially football and basketball. I guess people say I was okay in both. So this particular thing really, really sits well with me when you're talking six-figure playbook and as far as finances are concerned, right? Because so many of us, we just would not take the time to come up with a plan for our money. I mean, single people, married people. I mentioned it yesterday that how a lot of married couples don't even know each other's credit scores or don't even talk finances with each other, and this playbook. Again, remember, the game is capitalism in this country, guys. The game is capitalism. It's a game being played whether you want to be in the game or not. So the only thing you're doing is either you're in the game or you're just sidelining yourself. But you got to understand this. The way to win is to understand the playbook. I mean, I know when we played sports, sometimes we didn't have the best talent. We didn't have all the best talent, the best overall team. But a lot of times we beat better teams because our coach prepared us. Our coach gave us playbooks to go by, to memorize, right? So when other teams were just depending on willy-nilly and just talent, we were playing together because we had a playbook. Guys, you got to have a playbook when it comes to your finances, right? So we're going to do this. We're going to talk about the six-figure playbook. And it's real simple, guys. It's real simple. It's 3 things down, and we're going to get 3 things down in your life and 3 things up. Real simple. That's why it's called a six-figure playbook. 3 down, 3 plus, 3 up, six-figure playbook. All right, now this is especially important, believe it or not. I mean, it can apply for 1099, but it's especially important for W-2 employees. And for those that work, you get a W-2. Why do I say that? Well, because unfortunately, the W-2 employee that gets up every day, goes to work hard, sit in traffic, you go to a job that you don't necessarily care for the boss or your employees if you're a supervisor or a manager. You're the one that goes and you work hard every day, right? And yet you're taxed the most in this country. You're taxed at the highest rate in this country. The W-2 employee, around 28 to 33%, right? You don't have to believe me. You look at your own paycheck. Look at your paycheck, and you'll see that about a third of your paycheck, close to a third of your paycheck, is took before you even get your money. So this six-figure playbook is particularly important for W-2 employees, and like I said, it can apply to 1099 as well, but every situation is different in that case. So, because what we're going to do in the six-figure playbook, we're going to do 3 things down first. We're going to run through the 3 things down, then we'll run through the 3 things up, and we'll get out of here, right? So the first thing we want to get down in our six-figure playbook is taxes. Now, you hear us talk about taxes. You hear me talk about taxes a lot because taxes, whether you know it or not, are your largest expense in this country. It is not your girlfriend, it's not your boyfriend, it's not the house note, it's not the bills. Taxes will be your largest expense because of all the different ways that we get taxed in this country. And we understand taxes are crucial in this country. I mean, they build roads, bridges, highways. They pay our government. They pay the people that we pay to represent us in the government. I mean, taxes are important. But you don't always have to pay all the taxes that you pay. That's the thing, right? So if we're running plays, and I'm gonna keep going back to the sports analogies, right? So if we're running plays, guys, on a court, and We can't stop this pick and roll from this two other players on this other team. We never can. We always lose because we can't stop this two-man pick and roll. After we study the tape, after we talk to the coach, after we continuously do this for a whole season and we still can't stop it, at some point, it's who is it on? I mean, we're getting the information, but if we're not applying what we're learning, we're not applying what we need to do on defense, then whose fault is it at the end of the day? So when you learn these things, when you know that you don't have to pay all the taxes that you pay out of your paycheck, when this is something that you know, then whose fault is it when you still overpaying taxes and don't have enough to buy food for your family at the end of the day, or don't have enough to do some extracurricular stuff with your children, the things that we all love to do, right? So what we want to do in this six-figure playbook, guys, we want to get taxes down first. And when I said W-2 employees, this is particularly important for you guys because, like I said, 28 to 33%, you're getting taxed at the highest rate. So when we get those taxes down, right? When you learn that you can get $2, $3, $4, $5, in some cases $1,000 back extra out of your paycheck, and when you know this and you don't apply this, then it's whose fault is it? We got a playbook and we need to go by this playbook. So when you're getting your taxes down, right? Because it's a plan. We're in a huddle here. We on the court. We on the field. This is a plan. So when you're getting your taxes down, and you're bringing more money back into your paycheck, now it's about being responsible. It's about being disciplined. I talked about discipline in another video and how reasons why a lot of people can't be rich because they don't have discipline. So this extra money in your paycheck is not to go out and spend it on liabilities. And liabilities are anything that's not an asset. An asset is something that's going to produce residual income or it's going to appreciate over time. Anything other than that is a liability. So you're not going to bring this extra money back into your paycheck just to spend it on liabilities, because that means you don't have discipline. You're not sticking to the playbook, right? So we're going to get those taxes down to bring you more money back, and then you're going to use this money to pay off debt. Remember, we have a plan here. We're trying to win a game here. We're trying to get to a goal. So we're going to pay this debt down. So we're going to eliminate debt. Right? And you're going to also have the discipline not to incur more debt while we're doing our plan. It's just like when I say it's team practice, guys, and we're practicing together at the facility, and I say to you, hey, I know you guys kind of get into some extracurricular stuff at home or outside of basketball or outside of football or outside of sports. I need you to kind of tone that down and not do that. That's where the discipline comes in as far as not incurring more debt. So just because you're making a little more money and you done paid off a credit card or two, doesn't mean go out and you get one credit card, a new credit card. We got to, it's a game plan, guys, we're trying to do. So we get the taxes down. That's one, we're getting taxes down. Two, now we're getting your debt down because we're using that extra money that you brought back in your paycheck and you're paying your debt down. And now we want to get your expenses down. So what that means is that the things that are that you pay for every day, the typical stuff that you do, the phone that you're looking at right now that you bought, the iPhone for $1,000, internet service, gas, bills that you typically pay, we want to get those and get those expenses down, right? So we're going to get our taxes down, we're going to get your debt down, then we're going to get our expenses down, right? So now once we get those three things under control, because we're following the game plan, we are now going to get the three things up that's going to really put you in the game, right? First thing we're going to do is understand cash flow is going to go up. One, how? We've already created instant cash flow by bringing more money back out of our check, by paying less taxes, right? We're bringing instant cash flow in because we're paying credit cards off. So now that money that you were using to overpay on compound interest, right? You paid off a card, you paid off 2 cards, you paid off 3 cards. That's extra money that we're using. Now this is cash flow we're bringing back. Now we have cash flow. Now we're cash flow positive as opposed to cash flow negative. And that's a video, for those that don't know, we talked about cash flow negative, positive. So we're getting our cash flow up now, right? Remember, we get our taxes down, debt down, expenses down, and now we got our cash flow up because we're sticking to the playbook. 2, we can get your income up. And that's something that we can do to show you how to make more money, right? You know, even though you're still working, by following the playbook, inside of this playbook, there's a way to make more money, whether it's just part-time and stuff like that. So now we get your cash flow up. We're going to show you how to increase your income, right? Not saying quit your job or anything like that. Continue doing what you're doing. But when your cash flow is coming up, we get your income up. Now guess what else follows? It just follows suit, because all ships rise with the tides, guys. All ships ride with the tide. And now your credit scores are going up. See, and that's important and that's crucial, right? So a lot of people don't care about the credit score. A lot of people don't know what to do with their credit scores. Credit scores are valuable for a couple of reasons. 1, just the pride of getting a high credit score, right? 2, now you pay less interest for anything that you do purchase utilizing your credit, right? Now you're paying less interest, right? Because if you have bad credit, because your credit was up, then you're probably paying 3 times the amount for the same thing I'm paying for, or somebody with good credit, right? You're paying 3 times the amount for it by the time you're done paying for it. So let's get that credit down, so now you can pay less in interest when you utilize it. So now you got 3 things down, 3 things up. We got our cash flow up. So now we can move from that W-2 employee highest tax bracket, because now you're going to understand the playbook, and you're going to understand that by you having a social security number, that you are in this country a sole proprietor, right? The government says this. The government says you have a social security number. So you are automatically, if you utilize your social security number in that manner, we will incentivize you to utilize it because you'll become a sole proprietor. So within this playbook I'm talking about, let's stay within this frame of this playbook, you utilize it, you become a sole proprietor. Now you can move from the highest tax bracket, 28 to 33%, to now a business tax bracket. And the government is going to incentivize you to do that. Why? A lot of ways, but more importantly, you move into a lower tax bracket. So now you are pretty much at about, I don't know, say 18 to 23%, right? Why? 18 to 23%. And now those expenses I talked about earlier, now the government says, as opposed to being a W-2 employee where the W-2 employee works, the W-2 employee is taxed, and then the W-2 employee gets to spend what's left, the government says, hey, we appreciate you doing that. Well, let's incentivize you. So now as a business, the business, it works. The business now spends, then the business is taxed. So basically, when you're spending in both categories, the W-2 employee cannot write off all the same things that the business owner, and they're doing the same things, same gas, same phone, same cell, same trip, same vacation, same hotels, same restaurants, but the business gets to write a majority of that off. The government says we incentivize that. So now that you're following the playbook, guys, you still got your job, you're doing your thing, but your cash flow is up. Now you're a business owner because you did the sole proprietorship thing. You attached it to a home-based business, and particularly like ours, that creates 475 tax deductions. See, that's where that expenses go down at, because all those things, our 475 pretty much covers the majority of stuff. So now the playbook is saying, okay, we're trying to get to the playoffs. We're trying to get to the championship. So we need you to go from the W-2 employee, whether it's literally or especially just the mentality, to the business owner. But what we really want to get you to is the investor mentality, right? Why? Because the investor, plenty of reasons. One is the fact that investors typically pay less than 15% of taxes. They're in a less than 15% tax bracket. Why is this? Because unlike the W-2 employee who works, gets taxed, and then can spend, unlike the business owner, where the business works, business spends, and then the business gets taxed, which is still great because it puts you in a good position. The investor, the money works, right? The money spends, and the money it doesn't necessarily have to get taxed, because as a strategy, you continue to allow that money to be cycled out into the universe to make more money, because the money doesn't have to sleep. The government said, well, the money doesn't sleep. I don't have to tax it the same way. The money doesn't sleep. The money doesn't need a coffee break. It doesn't need overtime. It doesn't complain. It just does what it's supposed to do as a tool for you. Money is just a tool, and it makes money. So the government says, hey, 15% or less on the taxation, and hey, let the money make money. That's what we want you to do, because that pushes our capitalistic society, right? And this is something that everybody does. Now, typically, we don't get taught this in school. We get taught the reverse. We get taught only to work, only to get, you need more money, get another job. You need more money, get a part-time job. That's the only playbook we get. You want to be wealthy, you want to be successful, get a job, get a career, and just that's the only playbook we get, guys. But wealthy teach their kids this playbook from the beginning. It's time for us to start operating out of a different playbook. We have to operate out of a different playbook, guys. So if you want more videos like this on just money in general, finance, just topics, definitely follow me on YouTube at the Money Channel, Mr. Hard Pivot, the Money Channel. I'm also on Instagram, hard_pivot, and also on TikTok at Mr. Hard Pivot. Same thing for Twitter, Hard Pivot, all same brand all the way across the board. So listen here, guys. Now, if you just want, more information on how to level up your finances, and you just want to DM me directly, no problem. Just give me a text at 216-285-0569, and just put level up. 216-285-0569, and I'll just send you some information directly, guys. If you just want to get your finances up, you want to call me directly, you can just DM me. So at the end of the day, guys, Six Figure Playbook, we need to start operating out of a different playbook. The playbook we got taught, the playbook we've been raised under, the playbook that we've been following, it won't lead to financial freedom, right? So this Six Figure Playbook I just discussed, implement some, if not all, in your life, especially